Welcome back. Donald Trump elected 47th president of the United States. Trump winning the key battleground states of North Carolina, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. Meanwhile, Michigan, Nevada, and Arizona are still too close to call this morning. Trump also won the popular vote, something a Republican has not done in 20 years. Joining us right now is New York Times bestselling author, KAConsulting President, Fox News contributor, pollster, and former senior counselor to President Trump, Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne, great to see you.
Great to see you. I know we're all dancing.
I want to get your reaction to these results, but let me start off with the idea of it is time to heal the nation. Can Trump bring us together and heal the nation after all of the division that we've all witnessed and experienced?
Yes, Maria, I know he can. I was standing next to him in 2016 when he rewrote that section of the speech and said to America then, I'm going to be the president for all Americans, not just, including those of you who didn't vote for me. He said, and there's more than a few of you. You know, he chuckled, he ad-libbed. Joe Biden had the word unity, 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 unify in his inaugural address. We never saw it. In fact, he delivered the most divisive vice president in modern times, who then became the nominee. And I think President Trump, who now has no election ahead of him ever again, he's going to work with a certain energy and alacrity, swiftness, to undo a lot of this negative stuff, these pauses of LNG permits, this war on fossil fuels, this energy dependence, these foreign wars, obviously the border, he can act pretty swiftly in the economy and so on. So how many people in life get a second chance this huge? Very few of us, if any. And so he's going to take that and use that as a springboard for policy. Unify, yes, but Maria, I would ask that question of the other side.
Right.
Because in the end, Kamala Harris was just another Never Trumper. There was no policy, there was no boldness, there was no new golden age of optimism and innovation and job creation. She just was another, I'm not Trump.
Right.
And people have had enough of that. Tell us who you are. I'm not Biden, I'm not Trump. She left open that essential question. Who are you?
Which is why we want to see what Kamala Harris has to say today.
She should have said it last night, though.
Yeah,
what a ridiculous split screen.
Why not concede? I mean, it was such a huge landslide. Why not concede? Real quick, Russia is floating the idea of a reset with the United States. I find this incredible. Right after Trump wins in a landslide, Russia comes out and says, we want to reset with the United States. Trump said during the campaign that he felt he could end the war in Ukraine before he gets in office.
That's right. In 2016, we were careful to say, oh, there's only one president at one time. We told Shinzo Abe, don't fly here. He was on one of his planes to come from Japan. I don't think President Trump feels that way as much anymore, since we have commanders, an absent commander-in-chief, an absent vice president. But seriously speaking, he wants to end these wars. He wants to bring peace in Israel. He wants to bring peace. He wants Iran on the run again. They were starving to do deals. And he can do that. I'm not surprised to hear Russia say that. I think you're going to hear other world leaders at least bending to and softening a little bit about, because they're seeing it in Europe. They're seeing it around the globe. Right. They're saying, wow, we're really getting pushed back for this lack of policy, for the socialist tendencies. The wokeness everywhere was majorly rebuked last night. I think the two pillars last night on the ballot that we don't talk enough about were weakness and wokeness. We want strength over weakness, and we want fairness, Maria, over wokeness. People don't want men and women's sports. They don't want 10 million people to come here and get cell phones, cash, hotel rooms, and clothing. They don't want to think that these kids are stuck in schools based on their zip code. Right. It's not fair. And they don't want plumbers and welders to pay for the student loans of doctors and lawyers. They say it's just not fair.
Yeah.
Right. Agreed.
So one of the questions you see what a lot of people don't see, right? There's so many pollsters, there's so many people out there who just didn't see this coming at all. And in the last days, the momentum was going to Harris. How is it that you can see it so clearly? Like, you just...
Well, I appreciate that. I did write on FoxNews.com, go pull it up, October 11th, Trump would get a narrow landslide. And I think he got more than a narrow landslide, actually.
Agreed.
But I think it's this, Lee. We never deeply examine that which we deeply disdain. So many people just don't like folks who vote for Trump. They don't see them. They don't respect them. And so if that's your vantage point about more than half of the country, by the way, then you're not going to capture them in your polling. And I think there was a real rush and panic this past weekend amongst people in the media to have their polls reflect their own point of view. And like, let's overcorrect. Well, what are you overcorrecting for? They finally were getting it right and accurately reflecting Trump's realignment of not just our American political discourse and groups, but the center-right movement of the country. This is a rebuke of leftist policies. What I do is I try to peek around corners and not look at people as voters and not look at them by race, gender, socioeconomic status, age, zip code. And by the way, the only reason to do that is because people don't look at themselves that way. I think election 2024 at the presidential level was the moment that Americans said, stop telling me I must feel this way, I must wear that, eat that, think this way, and vote this way.
Well,
based on my age,
that's
gender.
what Kamala Harris did at the end of the campaign, saying that Trump is more unhinged than ever before. And I'm thinking, wait, no.
That's not going to pay your bills.
I think women were the sleeper group here.
They were. And women, again, even if they care about abortion, pro-life, or pro-choice, that was clearly an advantage for Harris overall, vote motivator, turnout intensifier. But both Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump said they were voting no on that Florida initiative. It's the first one to go down in our third most populous state. But women, Maria, want to be talked to from the waist up also. We have eyes, ears, brains, mouths, and right here, and that we want to be talked to about the economy, about the border, about crime, about security, affordability, fairness, and even energy policy. We can take it. Women also, this whole matter that we were being shamed and screamed
That's what Obama
and
did.
silenced by both Obamas, by the way. We only hear Michelle Obama once every 4 years. I hear her voice to come out and trash Donald Trump.
Yeah, and she lectured everybody, Brian.
Right, Kellyanne, you peek around corners, so peek around the corner for me. Trump, first 100 days, he's got a lot to do to consolidate the win. What do you think he starts with here?
He starts with many executive orders that have already been prepared. So they'll get another look-see. The lawyers will take another view of them. But he can take some swift action on the economy, on the border, on energy, and some other matters. Then he's going to call up the new Senate Majority Leader, whoever that is. We have a good idea. And Speaker Johnson, who will have a very thin margin, it looks like, in the House, and say, what can we do legislatively? Here's the question. Find a Democrat or four that will work with him across the aisle and say, I didn't vote for the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, but it benefited my state or my district. I'm here for this.
We got to jump. Who's going to be the head of the Senate?
Probably John Thune, but Steve Daines may throw his hat in the ring last minute, given the great success in the Senate last night.
Kellyanne, thank you.